Okay, this is Mr. Wyrick, and I'm here going over the Algebra I review real quick. Just going to talk about some highlights, some things you need to know, some things you need to remember. So, on this first question here, it's talking about writing an inequality. The main thing that you need to remember is two things. Number one, the $500 is exactly how much money you have. You can't spend more than that, so it has to be the larger number out of my inequality. The other thing is the lower deck seat, or the upper deck seat, sorry, further away from the action. So it's only 75% of the cost of this one. That means 75% as the decimal is 0.75. You multiply that by 110 to get the 8250. On this one, just understand it's a multiple choice test. Go open up the calculator, open up graphs, and in the graph, delete the equal sign, change it to this inequality symbol, and it will draw the correct graph. Then you only have to find the multiple choice one to match up to it. On this one, the solutions, you're going to graph this. It's in standard form, so you delete the equal sign, scroll down to option 6, which is relation, and sit there and type that in. 5x minus 7y is less than negative 21. You hit control and the equal sign to get to these inequalities. Pick the ones that are in the shaded area. Those are the solutions. The ones outside it are not. Any one of them on a dotted line, a dashed line, those are not answers. If it's on a solid line, it is an answer. Solve the inequality. You can do this a couple different ways. You can end solve it using an equal sign and get your number and then just test other numbers, or you can go through and solve it the regular way. We went over how to do this in class. On this one, if you're going to graph it, again, use the calculator, delete the equal sign, pick the correct inequality symbol, type it in as it appears. It should graph the correct thing, and this is a multiple choice test. You'll be matching it up. Same thing here, standard form. Remember, go down to option 6, the relation. On these, again, solutions are in the colored part. This one has some extra solutions because this equal sign means it's a solid line. So if it's on the line, it is an answer if it's solid. Solving the inequality, again, end solve, test some answers. On these, you're comparing them, just graph them both. So f of x equals x, then you push the tab button to bring up another graph, and it'd be 5 over 2x or 2.5x plus 7. Talk about the difference between them, make sure it matches up. On this one, the domain range, it's probably going to be in words. So it would be the domain is everything greater than 0, less than 20. The range is everything greater than 0, less than 200. On this one, if we broke the record, we have to have more. That's how records, especially in basketball, would work. So the ones that are dividing and subtracting, they're not going to give you more. Since this doesn't say we broke it by 4 times more, we're just adding 4, it's going to be answer A. Answer it like a multiple choice question. Graph this one again, delete the equal sign, go down to relation, type this in as it appears. It'll give you the correct graph. The 0 means you put a 0 in here and you can end solve it. You could also graph this and find the x-intercept where it's going to cross that graph. The ordered pairs that are not solutions, they're outside the shaded part. Graph the inequality. We talked about this already. This one with the table, you go into the lists and spreadsheets, enter the x and y values into those columns, open up the data and statistics. You might look at one of my older videos where I kind of go over that more in detail. 725 miles. If you're going to figure out how long it's going to take you to go somewhere, you take your distance and you divide it by how fast you are going. In this case, this is the one that's the distance divided by the rate, which is how fast you are going. And on this one, data and statistics, 0, 193, 10, 250, and use that to extrapolate the information, figure out where you're going to be. You get the equation from running the regression, then you get your total answer. Last couple here. If we're talking about half hours, it's $55 per half hour. You either have to say that 3 hours is 6 half hours, take 55, multiply it by 6, and add 30. Or you have to say if it's 55 per half hour, it's 110 per hour times the 3 hours, and then you add 30. Either way, you're going to get $360 for that cost. On this last one, it's back to what we were talking about on like the very first one. This $250 is a budget. We can't spend more than that. Other than that, just make sure the costs match up. $20 for earrings, $12 for bracelets. Hopefully you can use this video as a study guide, and good luck on the test.